Welcome, guys, to another community call of Kleros. This is May 14, 2025. Um, we have different things this week. I think the main one, I'm not going to say the main one, but one very important thing that happened this week is that we just reached 100 lemon cases. So, as you know, Kleros is an application that can be used within the Web3 ecosystem to resolve disputes happening in DAOs or crypto protocols. That is one use case. And this is the early use case that we envisioned when we started the project. But also, the end, this is a decision mechanism that can adapt to different ways in which people transact, different ways in where different platforms where people that people use to make different types of transactions. And one of them is dispute resolution in uh, consumer claims. So as you know, there are fintech companies, for example, that do well. They have users, and these users have different types of conflicts because of chargeback situations, because of the user was charged for something that he or she didn't buy. So this creates conflicts, and this is a very common type of situation that I mean affects people in a very bad way. Even if it's just a small amount of money. I mean, for some people, it's a small amount of money is a big amount of money, and it's a problem, and it creates also like a bad mood in the not just stress for the person, but also a bad mood in the society at large, if you want. So, uh, for we have been exploring how we can use Kleros in order to resolve disputes in this type of situations, which are uh, what we can call off-chain disputes because they don't happen on-chain as situations like where there is an escrow. These are like just normal consumer claims, which typically go to small claims court. But well, legal systems are slow. Small claims court are typically quite cumbersome. They are also well slow, um, and the reality also is that because of generational change, people have learned to interact a bit different uh, with this small claims court that exists in different countries. Basically, they are not very used, in particular in industries where most of the customers are like in younger generations. For example, fintech companies, they have lots of young customers. Many of them are like under 30, and so when they have a dispute with the platform, what is empirically seen is that they don't want to go to a small claims court. They what they do is that they just switch to the competitor, and if they are more motivated, what they do is like they just go to Twitter and then they bash the company on the social media, and then if people see that this tweet is there, so they might, oh yeah, I have the same problem with this company. They are scammers. Don't buy from them. So there is like all of this reputational risk and reputational enforcement against what people see as bad actors, right? Or this is a problem that could affect you in how you recruit new customers. And there was this story. I can tell this because I was going to take a flight, and my flight. I don't know if I should say the company. No, I'm not going to say the company. It's on Twitter anyway because I mean, I don't. I'm not the guy who does this of trying to, bash on companies on Twitter because I have also a following, and I don't like that. But I was so frustrated because they delayed my flight to the next day, and for some reason I just tweeted about it. I was very frustrated, and then this was retweeted by a very important account called Derecho en Zapatillas, which is from Argentina. Do you know it, Jean? This account? I mean, it's quite famous.
Yes, and it has been like it's famous for quite a while. I think I remember like things from 10 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah. So The guy is, I mean, I've known him for a while, so, but he has, I mean, maybe 500,000 followers. And what he does is that he tweets about like legal stuff affecting like normal people, everyday stuff. Like for example, people ask him on Twitter, "Hey, I was fired from my job and they didn't pay me, the vacation, whatever." And then the guy retweets and say, "Oh, they should have paid you this, so whatever." So, and 500,000 people, well, they see that. So the guy, uh, retweeted my complaint against this airline company, and and then people started coming, oh yeah, I had the same problem, they are assholes, they are scammers, uh, and then we ended up having this very very long thread of like people just complaining and bashing the company, and just because I had this bad experience. So this is, if you want, this is the first century version of mob justice, where the people, just they pick someone in the central square, and they, witches of Salem kind of justice also, and they go and they just make a public lynching, and call it justice. This is the Twitter, bashing is the like 21st century version of that. So Kleros tries to be a due process, rule of law, uh, similar way to resolve disputes. So, but so what's the thing? So when you have the dispute with this consumer company, with in this case Lemon, you have the dispute, and then instead of you go first to customer service, and then sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. In the case they say no, so your only chance was going to the court, small claims court, and to Twitter if you wanted. So what we did is uh, implement a process where after the customer service says no, instead of just ending there, they offer you another opportunity of going to Kleros as a neutral decision-making process that will decide your case, and so you can make your claim and your report about what you think you should reimburse, and the company will reply, and then this goes to Kleros. Kleros makes a decision, and what happens is that if the customer wins, the company abides to the ruling of Kleros and pays the customer what he's asking for. And if the company, I mean, if the customer loses, I mean, this is not binding, so he can't just go to small claims court and take his chances there, right? So this is the process we designed, where you use Kleros as a expert opinion made by peers on who should win the case, and this started like about a year ago, and we just crossed the 100 cases. This is extremely successful pilot that now it's being replicated in other places, in other consumer companies. Some of them are fintech also. We are in discussions with very important fintech companies from Latin America, and this can very easily be replicated. And in other consumer claims, companies having lots of claims like insurance companies, we already mentioned that we are working in a pilot with MetLife in Mexico for having a Kleros decide this what should be the right settlement amount for like personal injuries, or like how much the company should pay for a policy holder for repairing a car that was damaged in an accident, or so. This is still a pilot phase, but it's really encouraging to see how these tools are being used in real life settings. One of the main problems that crypto has as an industry is that everything is so like I would say endogamous. Crypto company selling services to another crypto company, and in the end, it's kind of everything happens between 200 traders and speculators. So it's very bad for the public image of the industry, because normal people fail to see how this is improving their everyday lives, besides making a few guys rich, right? So this, I believe, besides being very important for Kleros, it's also a great thing to have for the larger like crypto industry, to show the world that it's actually solving problems in non-crypto settings. The Lemon case is kind of in a crypto setting because it's a crypto exchange where people are crypto people, but MetLife, if it has nothing to do with crypto. It's a just normal insurance company, and we are also working with governments like Mendoza, for example, where they use Kleros for resolving small consumer claims and neighborhood disputes. And yeah, I mean, these are great things, and I think that over time, the crypto industry will start to appreciate. I would call, I would say, Kleros producing a public good for all of the industry legitimacy in some way. Okay, this is a very long monologue from my side. So I mean, so super happy, 100 cases. Yeah. So and this way more coming. So this is a very 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 good day for us. Okay. Since we are speaking of this, I will let Marcos continue with like business development stuff.
Marcos, I sent you the request. Just one comment
Yeah,
about
Marcos,
what you
you can
said,
continue.
Federico, about the real world use cases. I think we are pretty well positioned because the Dev Connect this year, one of the the main.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but Shin is talking, I think.
Yeah,
Jean, can you hear me?
one second. I can hear you. Marcos, can you tell him that I can
Yes,
hear
yes,
you?
Federico, Shin is talking now. I think you can't hear him, but let's let Shin to talk, and then I will go. I think you are the only one that is not
Hello?
hearing.
Yeah, so I'll continue, and maybe Federico will reconnect.
Yes.
But just would like to mention that the focus of Dev Connect this year is actually how Ethereum can impact real world cases and how it can like be used for let's say normal things that are not just related to crypto. So I think we are well positioned to showcase the lemon cases in the conference, and even in this narrative that is that people are adopting now. Let me send the request to Federico again.
Okay, and I can continue with the business development updates. If everything is okay.
Yes.
Okay, so well, thank you very much, Federico, for your introduction. Well, Federico did a very interesting introduction about how Kleros Enterprise is working with companies and government entities. Now I will mention some updates of what happened with Kleros Enterprise during the last week. In first place, we had 13 cases from Lemon that were resolved during the last week. Very interesting cases. And two more cases are coming between this week and the other one. As you know, there's a whole procedure for the cases to be resolved at Kleros, or to be resolved or to be created in Kleros. So we already have two cases in the QU. And well, we are analyzing some updates with Lemon, some like operational updates about the notifications and that stuff. So that's something that we have been working during this week. For the moment, the notifications with the users are with email, and we are analyzing the possibility of using another alternative. Besides that, we have been working with MetLife. The jurors resolved a second case of MetLife that it was sent during the last week. They were very happy with the results. I mean, the MetLife support team, and we have been working too with MetLife in some statistics that they are asking from us to send them at the end of each month. So that's something else that we have been working in the BD team during this week. And maybe we are going to receive some new cases from MetLife the next week. This is not 100% confirmed, but they mentioned it's something that we still need like a last confirmation from one user, and one or two cases should be coming. Another thing, last Friday we had a very important call with a fintech from Argentina, or we could say Latin America or South America. This is the second call we have with them. and for the moment we cannot mention their name because it was just a call, but we will keep you updated if we have news of this. And then, well, this week we have been following some conversation with our leads. For example, Junin. Junin is another, let's say, place from Argentina, or probably it's not a province, but a jurisdiction from Argentina that wants to use Kleros in a similar way that Mendoza is using Kleros. And well, there was an agreement that was signed during the last weeks, so we might have some pilot cases soon. And those are the most important updates from this week from Kleros Enterprise. Maybe Fortunato later can add something else from his side.
I mean, I just dropped like twice from the call, so can you hear me now? I don't know.
Yes, perfect. Now we can hear you.
Okay, if I mean, I was just worried that I was speaking like for 12 minutes and nobody heard anything I said, but I think you heard my introduction at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we heard everything, but I think in the end you were not hearing us, but
Yeah.
it was okay. No problem.
Okay, we're good now. Let's pray that it just keeps working. Okay. Okay, so another very important thing of this week was of the Stanford Governance Conference that we sponsored and where William participated. So tell us a bit about that, William. How did it go?
Yeah, it went well. It was a good conference. 2 days, had a lot of like high level people. Had some, like Jeff Strand was there, a Stanford professor, Dan Bonet, I think also a Stanford professor that's more in cryptography. Pujol Haver was there. Nathan Schneider, who we've had conversations with for a long time. So I had good conversations with people that I knew before, new people that I met. My talk, I think, went pretty well. So the subject of the conference was blockchain governance. And most of, obviously we think about how Kleros is governed as part of our research agenda, but most of how I think about research is more about the sort of mechanism of how the dispute resolution, juror drawing, juror voting works. But because our mechanism is sortition-based people being drawn to vote on stuff, that looks a lot like governance. So I was able to sort of relate a lot of our work on juror selection to 51% attacks on governance mechanisms and voting and sort of more governance types of votes. So I think that went well. Clement was also there. He talked about his Futurkey stuff. Good times.
Okay, I don't know if Federico, maybe he had another
Hello.
problem.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, no, this was my fault. It's because I was mute. So I'm not going to blame X for my fault. Okay. William, tell us a bit about what your talk was about. So, because I don't think they are going to share it, the recording. So, yeah, tell us, 1 minute of what you spoke about.
Yeah, so I just was asking Jan if like they had a recording available, and it's it's unclear. So like there may not be a recording, which is unfortunate. So I talked about 51% attacks on different types of mechanisms you could use for governance. In some cases, you could also sort of use them for Kleros drawing, and just as comparing like sort of pure token weighted voting versus token weighted sortition versus proof of personhood with either sortition or not. Like if you mix in SBTs or different kind of identity mechanisms, how does that change the attack resistance model? How do these like things fit together? So specifically from the point of view of 51% attacks, so people trying to take over a majority of the voting power.
Cool. Okay, so a lot of conferences for you lately.
Yeah, and now I'm preparing for the next one. So I'm preparing for my talk at ECC, which will be about peer prediction. So I had a blog article about that a few months ago, and I'm continuing to think about those ideas. We had good conversations about peer prediction at the London conference. So you'll see the state of the art in July. I'm trying to finish the dangling thread, so I have as much content as possible for that.
Cool. I'm also preparing my talk for HCC, which is going to be about how to use centralized justice mechanisms for aligning blockchain governance, AI governance with human values. So, as you know, more and more decisions are being made by AIs, and in judicial settings, but in others as well. And you need to find some way to make sure that the results that you are getting from AI decisions are aligned with what you expect from them, and not only not to destroy the world, which would happen in an extreme case scenario, but sometimes AI decisions can um, affect people's rights in the sense of denying, a loan to a minority, or denying some entitlements to someone who should have the right to it, but because of how the mechanism, how the algorithm was programmed, and the type of data it was fed with, I mean, can result in bad decisions, and those decisions can have bad, results for lots of people. We think that decentralized justice mechanisms can be used to prevent this and to ensure a better alignment between the decisions that are done by AIs and what you would expect. If you want to learn more, come to my talk at HCC at Cannes in July, early July. Um, and also, I'm going to be next week. Again, I'm going to be in Switzerland for two conferences. One of those conferences is going to take place in Zurich. It's about dispute resolution and arbitration in the context of DAOs and the crypto industry. So we have more and more disputes happening in DAOs, and this is well now being, I mean, observed by like big legal firms. So this is a big legal firm from Switzerland, from Zurich, that is organizing this conference, and they are putting a panel together of different experts um, about this type of disputes that happen because there are some specificities. Imagine DAOs are not always, I mean, legally recognized entities. They members in a DAO are not clear who is a member, or maybe if you know who is a member and because of ownership of tokens, let's say, are all of the members equal in terms of liability? What if you have tokens, but you have like just $20 of tokens? Are you responsible for what the DAO does, or what happens if you have tokens, but you didn't vote in a specific claim, in a specific governance proposal? Oh man, these are some birds here. Okay. Yeah, I hope that was not very noisy. Okay. Uh, I mean, I'm an outdoors person, so I'm in the garden. So I'm just saying. So all of these are posing different problems that are not clear in the traditional law and legal entities world. The traditional, it's clear who is suing who and the process. So this is not very clear in DAOs, and people are researching that. So I'm going to speak at that panel, and also it's it's for me very fun to see. So one of the person who's going to do the keynote at that conference is called Bianca Kremer. She is lawyer from Switzerland, and actually she's from Austria, not from Switzerland, and she came I met her the first time at the conference we did it 2019 in Luxembourg, that was organized by the Max Planck Institute, and she was doing her PhD. She was starting her career. She came to us. I mean, look, Federico, I'm doing this PhD on decentralized justice. I think what you're doing is very cool, and I would love to learn more. And she came to the conference. We had a conversation, and well, after that, I mean, our path crossed a couple of times as well, because she's started working at Wharton. Wharton is the business school at a very important university called University of Pennsylvania, and Wharton is maybe one of the best business schools for finance, or the best one for finance. And she was managing a program there and working with Kevin Werbach. Kevin Werbach is professor there who is an expert in blockchain, and so we did some things together also with Wharton. And then well, now I see her. She relocated to Switzerland, and now she is giving the keynote, which to me is kind of I saw her whole career, since the moment she came want to research about Kleros, and she did this research for her PhD. So I mean, to us, it's like yeah. I mean, and we are starting to see other people researching for their PhD. One of them actually, Alessia, finished. I was invited to the panel, the examination panel, and she did it at Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona. So I mean, we are still already having all of this little community of people who are building their careers based on Kleros. I don't know why I'm saying. Oh yeah, I'm saying all this because because she's going to give the keynote. Bianca is going to be giving the keynote at this Zurich conference. So I'm going to be there. So if you are in the Zurich area, I mean, happy to meet you and speak with you. And then the day after, so this conference, the Zurich one is on May 20. The day after, I'm going to give another conference at Neuchâtel, which is another city in Switzerland. So I'm moving from the German canton to the French canton, and this is organized by Florence Guillaume, another big expert in Kleros, and she has written a lot of papers about Kleros. And she knew I was going to be in Switzerland, so she invited me to another conference, and we're going to do there with them. And we are going to have also a presentation first by me, and then a panel involving a judge from Neuchâtel. I mean, maybe if we're lucky, we can end up with a pilot similar to Mendoza, but in Switzerland. But both places have great mountains, by the way. So that is the thing. And then after that, I'm going to Assas in Paris to teach this course that we have every year at this diploma. It's like a program on legal innovation where every year since at least, I think now for 5 years, we have this little course on legal tech and how to build a company based on decentralized justice ideas and blockchain and all that. So if you are in Paris also, happy to meet you. Just don't try to kidnap me. No. So yeah, I will background check you before meeting with you. Okay. Cool. So this is what's coming up for me in the next few days. So let's go now to maybe Fortunato.
Yeah. Thanks, Federico. From my side, from curation, this week we had the first batch of data pushed to Etherscan with the updates we made in the past weeks to the Scout registry. So if someone submitted contract metadata in the last month, soon your info will be displayed on the Etherscan family. Also, soon we will start the development of the new Scout interface. We will add a dashboard. We will simplify the way you can browse entries and also having a more straightforward submission. So if any community member has feedbacks or feature requests, you can share it with us on one of our channels. And moreover, I also wanted to add something else, not only related to curation, but to all the Kleros tools, is that next week we will have dev office hours where our DevRel will go through the integrations and the technical aspects. For example, what Federico and Marcos shared earlier on how we manage offline cases or on-chain alternatives. So today we were defining the roadmap with Parul. So if you're interested, if you want to know how we manage integration, or you are a developer and you want to integrate one of our tools in your app, you can join this call next week, or you can ask us in the Telegram group and we will go through it during the dev office hours.
Thank you, Fortunato. I don't know if you can. Am I okay? Can you hear me? Because I mean, I just dropped again.
We can.
So I mean, I guess I'm assuming you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, Jean, maybe community stuff from you.
No, just that we would like to share that we have the dev office hours next week, probably a couple of hours before the community call. And we will make a poll to check like which format do you prefer. For now, we are doing it on Telegram and recording it, and we already have the recording of the previous call on Telegram. And maybe just mention that a project that is using Kleros for dispute resolution, that is a home services platform based on Uruguay. They were selected for a support program on Arbitrum. And if you know some project that is also on Arbitrum and using Kleros, I would really suggest to apply to this program, because you can get some funding, and of course always marketing. Any marketing helps. The other day we got a post by Arbitrum in Spanish, and like it helps connect the community, and they can learn about what Kleros is doing and about their project as well. And well, just another reminder that we had like an interesting problem last week because of the huge influx of cases from Lemon. We had to ask people to stake more in the courts because the stake that we had was not enough for the cases. So I would recommend if you are listening and you don't have any stake on the Kleros V2 yet, you have only on Kleros V1, I would suggest you to breed something a bit of your stake. I think maybe 10k PNK, or the maximum we have now. We raised it to 40k PNK. If you stake in the court, you're already helping because then on these cases where we have like a huge amount of cases, you can be selected. But also, since we have these limits on court V2, you are also more likely to get cases than on court V1, and especially in this court that we created especially for cases from consumer disputes and neighbor disputes, you are very likely to get a case. And also help us test V2 and give feedback. The version that we have now had lots of improvements, and this is something that we basically every week there's something that has been changed in the page, and you can be a part of that and help us make it better for the launch, right? Because that's the objective. And yeah, I think that those are my updates for now.
It's worth mentioning that, this is a good problem to have. Historically, the problem is that we didn't have enough cases. So now we had more cases than jurors to resolve them. So this is a great thing to have. So hopefully, I mean, we will keep the flow of cases coming. And yeah, I mean, but do stay, if you want to make the world a better place by delivering justice, just take into a court and, well, I mean, get cases, resolve them, make money, and make the world a better place. I don't think there's a better way to end this call than this, right, guys? Unless you have a question or something that you want to ask. No? Okay. Well, otherwise, well, you can always ask on Telegram because we are basically always there, especially Jean. I mean, he's just plugged into Telegram, so you can, yeah, you can ask whatever you want at any time of the day, and she's going to be there, either he or his agent, to answer your questions. Okay. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming, and see you in the next week in the community call. See you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye, everyone.